Hi, my name is Ksenia Turkova. So let's talk about today's Putin speech. I'm ready to accept your sincere condolences that I had to listen to him for almost 2 hours and even make some notes. As usual, I will analyze it mainly from the language point of view. So first of all, it was insanely boring. He didn't say anything new, and he was repeating the same mantras he has been saying for a year already, and even more. So he said again that the war was started by the West, that the West enslaved Ukraine, as he said, to make it a weapon against Russia, that the West is proud of it, and so on. I like very much the comment of a Ukrainian poet, Boris Khersonsky, who said, "As for the speaker," meaning Putin, "he has an old trophy gramophone from the Second World War and one disc. Over time, the noise and crackling intensify, but the melody is still recognizable. An old song about the same thing," Boris Khersonsky said. And, the audience finally starts to understand what is important. I was reading the comments on YouTube, and a lot of them were like, the same thing again, he forgot to take his pills, nothing new, and so on and so on. So people didn't hide the irritation. And what is interesting, Putin repeated all those narratives, and after that, he concluded, "Nothing new from the West, the same thing, they keep repeating it." That's a quote. It's one of his favorite rhetorical tools, mirroring. It's Putin who is stuck in the same narratives, who doesn't have any new messages to deliver, but he blames the West. And it's also important that when talking about the role of the West, Putin is using a so-called high vocabulary. He uses the words you can see, for example, in the books of 19th century. It's one of his speech masks. Then he switches that mask to the mask of a defender of morality, in fact, an obscurantist. He says that the West is a huge threat to Russian kids because in Western countries they have same-sex marriages and pedophilia, and even Putin even mentioned the neutral gender god. Putin puts it all together like in one pot as same-sex marriages and pedophilia as the same thing. And again, it's not the first time. He says this over and over again, the same thing. Then Putin puts on the mask of a Soviet official. He reports that a huge harvest has been collected and there are opportunities for a breakthrough in other areas, like in Soviet Union, This mask is replaced by the mask of a modern official who knows modern vocabulary. And then Putin again returns to the first mask, language mask, to such patriotic pathos. He says that the front line passes through our hearts. By the way, blaming Ukraine for having neo-Nazis everywhere, Putin himself quotes the fascist leaders. He reminds the audience about the guns before butter concept, but doesn't mention who was the author of that phrase. And it was one of the Nazi leaders, Rudolf Hess. This metaphor was also used by Goebbels. Putin also said one of the brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces was awarded the name Edelweiss, like Hitler's division. Here, Putin drew a comparison between a Ukrainian army unit and the Nazis' 1st Mountain Division, which had the Edelweiss flower on the insignia and committed war crimes in the Second World War. But the Edelweiss flower, which grows in the Alpine regions, has been used as a symbol by other European mountain military divisions, including the Croatian Mountain Rescue Service, Swiss Army generals, and the 21st Rifles Brigade of Poland. Even Russia had a special unit called Edelweiss. The 17th Special Purpose Detachment of Rosgvardia was given this title in 2011. The name was changed to Avangard in 2016. Finally, at the end of his speech, Putin accidentally said procrastinate bullshit instead of procrastinate bad. It immediately became a meme and a metaphor for Putin's speech. So to resume all that, I can say that Putin is stuck in the same language and the same rhetorical tools. He can't deliver anything new. And even Russian people poisoned with propaganda begin to understand it.